And we also have the achiever. So to just bring the beginners up to speed to what we're all up and about for the bootcamp, I thought we could have a session to just really speak about a beginner's guide to scholarship applications. So let's go. Here's the agenda, and let's just start. So what are scholarships? So at the simplest level, a scholarship is a financial award that actually supports your academic studies. It's as simple and it's as short as that. And it's often given based on a couple of criteria. For example, it could be based on merit, it could be based on financial need, or that specific areas like your field of study or your country of origin, actually. So they can help to support towards your academic studies, be it fully funded ones or the ones that are partially funded. And one common thing that people usually have, or one common confusion people usually have about scholarship is that they think scholarships are the same things as loans, grants, bursaries, fellowships, assistantship, and all of that. So I thought I could just give a quick clarity to just help us see the difference between them. So loans are funds that are actually demanded to be paid back, often with interest, and can leave students in debt. Also, for assistantships, they are slightly different because they come with, for example, assistantships in the research assistantship in the US. They come with responsibilities like teaching, like research, or like working on projects in exchange for funding. So that's like what research assistantships are all about. And then for grants, they're actually similar to scholarships, but they're usually tied to a specific project or research outcome. While a bursary is a financial support usually awarded based on financial need rather than merit. And most times, a lot of bursaries are smaller in comparison to scholarships. So these are some types of scholarships that are available. And it's very important to understand that a lot of scholarships are a combination of one or two of these types of scholarships. So we have the fully funded scholarships. They are like the dream package. Everybody wants to be fully funded. And it's important to note that most of them cover a lot of everything. They cover the tuition, they cover your living expenses, they cover your flight. For example, we have the Chevening, we have the Erasmus Mundus, we have Fulbright, we have Commonwealth. So you also have a couple other examples on the slide of fully funded scholarships. For partially funded scholarships, we have they are usually like the word itself, they are partially funded. Some of them are covering the tuition, some will cover the flight, some will cover specific areas. So, and some of them are usually university specific awards or funding. So you could see some examples on my screen. We have Bristol University, UK scholarship. We have 𝐒𝐿 Excellence Scholarship. Some of them are partially funded. And then for the merit-based scholarships, we have scholarships that are actually based on, like the word itself, merit. And they are awarded because of your academic excellence, your leadership, or maybe a special talent that you have. We have the Rhodes Scholarship, we have the Gates-Cambridge Scholarship, we have the Knight Ellis Scholarship. We have a lot of scholarships that are merit-based. And some other types of scholarship that we have are need-based. So these are targeted at students with financial need. You have to demonstrate that you need these scholarships to actually get them. Examples of these scholarships are University of Toronto, Columbia University, Harvard University Financial Aid, etc. And then we also have a type of scholarship called the field-specific scholarship. So these are scholarships designed for students in particular fields, in STEM, in public health, in arts, in development studies. So you could actually see a lot of them on the screen on their examples. And then we also have country/region specific scholarship. This was the one I got, which is NDDC. So it's based on a specific region, for example, Niger Delta region. And then we also have the DAAD scholarships. We have the Australia Award scholarships. So like I said, a lot of scholarships are a combination of one or two of this type of scholarships. So it's just important to just know them and, see and understand how they work itself. So what are the core documents that you need for both your university admission, for your scholarship application? So this is like a quick overview of it. First and most importantly is your international passport. But before we get there, let's talk about your personal statement. So this is a statement that summarizes your story. A lot of people actually call it personal statement, motivation letter. Trust me, it serves the same purpose. It serves the same purpose. It's just that you need to understand that this is your story on the paper. It's not just about list. It's not a CV. Because I review some person's personal statement and I just see them listing out. It's not a list of your achievements. No, it's not a list. It is you writing your story in a way that will compel your reviewer or your the judge that is judging your application to understand why you could be the best person to get the application or that scholarship itself. So we also have the references, recommendation letters for the personal statement and the references. We're going to be having specific workshop deep dives to speak specifically on this area because I'm speaking broadly about them right here. So how do you get the best out of your referees? You pick people who know you very well, be it academically, be it at your workplace. You give them an insight about you. How do you do that? You share your CV with them. You share your program details with them. You even give them, if it's possible to give them a link to the website of the school you're applying for, to just give them a good context about what you're looking for. It will really help to, give them that help that you need in your application. Most importantly, I don't know why you cannot plan to be having a scholarship and you don't have your international passport. Yeah, so that's an area that we'll be looking into for the beginner section. So documents that you need, and literally all of these documents are going to be dealt with in the beginners group. So your international passport is literally going to be important for you if you're planning to study abroad to get a scholarship. And it's also advisable you have at least 6 months beyond the start dates for your international passports. And most importantly, apply early so that you could actually get it ahead of time because some applications may require you to submit it upfront before you can successfully submit the application. Next document that you need for your scholarship application is your academic record, your official transcript, your certificate, and if you're still studying, you could also give your provisional transcripts. Another documents that we can need for your scholarship application is the proof of English for proficiency, IELTS, TOEFL, depending on the country, the school that is requiring that document. We also have other documents depending on the scholarship itself. We have NYSC, for example, for NEDC. I needed that for my application before I could even submit my application. Some schools require like GRE, GMAT, especially for US business schools. Also, some scholarship require you to have like a research proposal. For example, if you are pursuing a research-focused course or if you're going for a PhD. So how do you choose the right program for your scholarship journey? Because this is a very big decision you're going to make it. And if you're going to be spending the next 1 year, 2 years of your time studying a course or a program, it should be something that you are really interested in. So how do you find that? The first thing I like to advise people on is start with you. What exactly are you always excited about? What is something that you could do for the next couple of months and you would enjoy it, even if it's demanding, even if it's exhausting, even if it is intensive? So what are those things that you could actually do that could just make you feel fulfilled? So that's an area you could look into. And another question you could ask yourself is, where do I see myself in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do I actually see my passion driving me into? And how would my passion sustain in this particular field for the next 5 to 10 years? So I will always advise people to start with themselves, look into your interests, look into what skills comes naturally to you and the problems that you are like, oh, I want to solve this problem in this world. So you could look into those areas. The next advice I usually advise persons on choosing the right program for your scholarship journey is connect your studies to your careers. For example, don't just see a degree as a title on the paper. Ask yourself, what does with this particular degree open for me? Is it going to be an area in, for example, public health, development studies? Or one thing I usually advise people to also do is check people who are already doing what you want to do. The life that they are living or the kind of demands that career comes with. Is this something that you think you also want to dive into to do? The next advice is think scholarships and programs, because the truth is, while there are scholarships available, the truth is there are specific fields that attract more funding than others. For example, fields like STEM, global health, they usually attract more scholarship than a lot of other fields. So if you're thinking of a program that you want to do for your scholarship journey, think about both your program and think about like the scholarships that are available in that particular field. The next advice is set clear expectations. for yourself? Will this field I'm trying to enter, will it help me pivot into a better field in the future? Because we know how things are changing really fast. Will it help me to, connect, will it help actually connect bigger to my life goals? The next advice is number 5, test and talk. Don't just make a decision based on, oh, you've done research or you've done this. Actually get to speak with those people that you found on LinkedIn doing what you want to do. Maybe a quick 5 minutes chat or a quick 10 minutes chat could actually just be that insight that you think you need to help you to test the waters and help you know if you could actually make this particular choice based on what you have found. And most importantly, you will make research. And after your research, the truth is you might discover that the field that you originally had might be a field that doesn't have a lot of funding. Or it might be a field that doesn't really align to your strength. You just like the name. People are doing it, you want to do it too. So at the end of it all, you have to be flexible, because flexibility could actually be the missing point between you securing a fully funded scholarship or, just going around in circles. So when you've done your research, when you've asked questions, when you've met people, be flexible to adjust your programs to another program if that doesn't fit your original purpose that you were intending or thinking about. So I'll quickly just slide through this. Another question that I saw on the registration form was, how do I stay organized and consistent? Number 1 for me was that, because it's easy to feel disorganized when you're doing a lot of things. For example, what I really advise people to do, or what I actually did, was to have a specific email dedicated to my scholarship applications, because it's even more difficult to stay organized when you have an email that has social media notifications, an email that has music notifications, an email that has that notification. So when you're able to check your emails, it will be very confusing. So by having a dedicated email that you just create and say this is for scholarship, you can also use that Google account to create an Excel sheet. And from that Excel sheet, you can now track your deadlines, track your interview dates, and see the requirements that are required of you in your application. So another thing I would advise is, please focus on scholarships that best fit your profile, because not every scholarship is actually created equally, and some will actually align to your profile, your goals, but not all of them will. So focus your energy on the ones that give you the highest chances of success, and because that is exactly where your time and energy is going to pay off the most. And another thing that works really well is actually having to set weekly goals. Don't say, oh, I'll work on my application this week. Break it down. Maybe say, oh, I will spend the next 2 hours on this particular day working on my essay. Or next week, on this particular day, on this particular time, I'll work on getting my international passport. I'll make calls. I'll reach out to this person. I'll ask questions to this person. So when you actually block those hours on your calendars, when you actually set these goals, it's easier to stay organized. The next thing is to stay accountable. Don't do this in isolation, because the scholarship journey could be very lonely. And sometimes all you could need is just that one tap on your shoulder that says, don't worry, you're doing fine. Just keep on pushing. So if you could have a community of friends, or maybe 1 or 2 persons that okay, they're applying for scholarships, and they could actually help to give you that morale when your morals are low, it will help you to stay organized and consistent. And most importantly, please celebrate a milestone. If you've been procrastinating your essays for a while, and then you finally sat down and you wrote it, at least clap for yourself. You've tried. So don't wait till you finally have the scholarship itself, and then that's when you reward yourself. When you meet a specific deadline, when you meet a specific milestone, give yourself a pat on the back and say, oh, okay, I did this, so I can do the next one. Here are some frequently asked questions about scholarships. One of the questions I saw on the registration form was, what GPA or academic profile do I need to qualify? The truth is, most scholarships are very competitive. You have literally thousands of persons applying for scholarships. However, we strongly encourage you to have like a 2-1, a second class upper, or equivalent for scholarships. Well, if you're someone that has, for example, a lower CGPA and all of that, what we could strongly encourage you to do is to build your profile. Go do some voluntary activities, have strong leadership skill, like those things that could actually pump up your profile a bit, are things that will strongly encourage you to get involved in. Next question is, can I apply for scholarships while in my final year? Some scholarships actually, the answer is yes. Some scholarships actually allow final year students to apply as long as you're able to graduate before the program starts. So in that case, you may be asked to submit like provisional transcripts or a letter from your university confirming that you are going to be graduating at an unexpected date. Another question I got asked was, what if I get rejected? The truth is, rejection is part of the process. I can't tell you the number of days I cried, I was thinking about my life, I was questioning myself, my worth and all of that. But imagine if I gave up. I literally got my scholarship on the second to last application I made. And even that application, I was like, I'm just doing it for like the sake of it. And that was the one that eventually pulled through. So imagine if I said, I'm not doing it again, no. I kid you not, like this boot camp will not be holding. So just encourage yourself and understand that when you finally get that yes, you will not remember the no's that you had. Even if that's the only word you get from all the plenty English I've been speaking. When you get that yes that you've been looking for, all the no's that came before that yes will not count. You will not remember them. So please understand that every application makes you better. Like the next one I made was better than the last one I submitted. So that should be where you should get your strength from. Because resilience is a very hidden skill in scholarship application, and you need that. So just to summarize, this is a quick overview of the scholarship process. Number one, please research. I would really encourage you to start months in advance so that you are not, you're not doing any last minute rush, especially because if you want to get your international passport, those are external factors that you might not be able to manage or control yourself. So to just save you time, just plan ahead. Next is identify countries that are known for scholarships. We have countries like Germany, UK, Canada, Netherlands, etc. Another thing that you could do while researching is to track official pages of universities. There are a lot of websites that actually focus solely on scholarships, so please track them. A very, 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 very important thing I could advise us to do is please study the eligibility criteria before you submit an application. It is so, nothing stings more like than realizing that you are not eligible after investing weeks into an application. So please, before you start drafting anything, look at the documents. Do you have them? If not, can you go get them? Look at the essays. Is this something that you could do within a specific time frame? So look at the documents they're asking for. Look at the, just every single, even if it's a full stop on those websites, even if it's a comma on those websites, read them, understand them. And when you know that you fully qualify or you're eligible for at least the basic things, you can go ahead, because it's very frustrating to invest so much time and realize that you're not qualified or you don't have the eligibility stuff they're looking for. Secondly is please prepare. If you're still in your undergraduate studies, I beg you, please aim for a 2-1. And also, if you finish school, please build your profile in line with the course you are looking for. Volunteer, do research, take up projects, publish articles, publish research reports and all of that. Another thing you could do is to take online courses. I took a number of online courses, in the line of what I wanted to study. So when I was writing my personal statement, those were the things I was pointing to and referring to. Next is you could actually volunteer, like I said. You could intern, you could do community work. Those are things that could actually strengthen your CV and your profile. And most importantly, when all is said and done, please apply. Don't overthink it. Until you click that submit button and until you get a feedback from that, you will not know if you did well or not. So please ensure that when you are applying, you are not doing copy and paste. You are tailoring each application to the specific requirement that a scholarship is asking for. And you are also answering the questions that they're asking you to answer. Another thing is when you are applying, please don't apply in isolation. Reach out to people who have gotten the scholarship that you've gotten. And you could do mock interviews, mock preparations to help you. Practice those common questions and, just find a way to highlight your unique value, your unique skills. And with that said, I hope I have been able to just quickly give an overview. If you're a beginner, you should have actually gotten an insight on understanding of how scholarships work. And trust me, in the bootcamp, you're going to get more knowledge, you're going to get more insight, and you're going to even do better as you learn from more diverse scholarship scholars. So with that said, thank you. And I'll be going right into the next scholar because we are late.